Okay, let's talk about cymbals today, and specifically cymbals for recording.
Hi, my name is Christopher Svan, and for the past 20 years I've been making angry music.
I sold all my cymbals like almost a year ago because I didn't like what I had. I had bought one here, one there, I got one from a friend, etc., etc. So I've been looking at cymbals a lot lately and trying to decide what to buy. And after thinking about it for a long time and trying to hone in on what it is I like, what it is that most of the mixes need, I thought I would make a little video about it and share my thoughts. And
So what's the problem?
so a lot of times when recording a drummer, I listen to all their cymbals, and the ones that's usually their favorite are usually the one that sucks the most for recording.
What the fuck?
I don't know why that is. Maybe it's where they're sitting, they're hearing the cymbal from the side while the microphone is usually on top or underneath or angled a little bit, but it's a different perspective than when they're sitting at the drums and listening to it. Maybe it has something to do with their earplugs or headphones, muffling the sound a bit and taking out all those whistling and annoying frequencies. But it made me think a lot about what it is I'm looking for in a cymbal and what I'm going to get.
What are you looking for?
So what I'm looking for a lot of the times are separation, so you can hear the individual cymbals both in the frequency spectrum but also on the left-right panoramic soundstage. I used to like really shimmery cymbals. I still like a shimmery cymbal sound, but what I've found is that they're usually like a white noise wash, while on darker cymbals you can actually hear the individual hits a lot better. So to me they're a lot more dynamic and not just a wash on top of everything. And darker cymbals usually have a lot more personality and character, which when you're looking at a playthrough or something, you hear that China cymbal going off and it has like all this character. That's usually what you find more interesting rather than a whitewash of just shh. Also in the mix, it's a lot easier to lengthen a cymbal if you need it by using compression and limiting and room mics and stuff like that, while a really washy cymbal, which just sounds the same all the time, they're not as easy to work with. It's a lot harder to get the separation and the individuality of the different cymbals. And with a dark cymbal, you can always add more top end and get the shimmer you want later in the mix. So I find them a lot easier to work with. And even with the close mics on the drums, like the snare mic and the tom microphones, with a darker cymbal you usually don't get all that wash into the microphone, so it sounds a lot more natural and they're easier to gate and manage and get cleaned up.
What? What you getting?
I've always liked the Manal sound, and the custom dark series are the ones that I feel would be best in a mix and for most of what I record. And I'm only getting like the key pieces that I feel are the most important, and the other stuff the drummer can bring his own cymbals, like if he has a special stack or splashes or maybe a shine he likes. Pretty pretty much the thing that isn't played all the time. So what's special about these to my ears is they have kind of a short attack or short sustain. They have the attack, but they die out fairly quickly. And for faster stuff, that's usually what I really like, because you get the attack, get the explosiveness, but then it kind of dies down, which leaves room for all the other things, like the other cymbals or the snare hits or the kick drums, etc., etc. They don't build on top of each other as much as more washy cymbals. So that's why I've been looking at these a lot, and I think they're gonna be perfect. I'm gonna get myself 2 crashes, like a 18-inch and a 17 or 16. I don't know, probably 18 and 17. The ride, the 20-inch dark heavy ride, because it has a really big bell and it sounds just thick and gooey and really nice. The hi-hats are just the standard 14 inches. I really like those. They have a lot of stick definition and they don't get in the way. I usually don't like hi-hats at all. I hate hi-hats. But these I find sound really nice. And I think maybe we're getting 2 crashes, 1 ride, 1 hi-hat, and maybe we'll see probably 1 or maybe 2 Chinas as well. I don't know. We'll see how much I can afford when the time comes.
Recap.
These are the ones I'm gonna force upon the drummers I record, unless they have a cymbal or a pair of cymbals that actually sounds great for recording specifically. Because usually drummers don't buy cymbals for recording, they buy cymbals because they like them and that sounds good in the rehearsal room, on stage and stuff like that, and they're the ones sitting at the drums listening to them most of the time. But unfortunately, a lot of those cymbals don't sound good when a microphone is put on them. That's why I feel like I need to get some cymbals that I know are easy to work with, that get us all what we need for the production and just sounds great. Because sometimes you record drummers who doesn't have like 30 cymbals and a lot of money to spend on great cymbals. They have a cheap kit and cheap cymbals, so then it's nice to be able to bring something that's, I mean, these aren't terribly expensive compared to others, but they're not cheap cymbals either, so it's nice to be able to bring some quality. And since I record like everywhere and I don't have a separate recording room except for the rehearsal room, I don't really know what I'm getting with a room, and to at least be able to control the cymbal setup is really nice, and it's a good guarantee to have that at least the cymbals and the snare drum, which I'll bring, will sound good, and the rest I can work with by using samples and replacement and augmentation and all of that. So that's it.